So, like, basically the city of Chicago, when, like, AIDS was happening, was not going to do shit. Like, Chicago did not care. Chicago was not going to do anything. So Art, the owner of Sidetrack, and so he recognized the fact that the community of the queer space was in the bar.
It has often been said, there has been no important development in the gay community that didn't begin in a bar.
And he was a big part of prevention in HIV and AIDS in Chicago. And some of the other people who were gonna do like an AIDS march wanted the bars to be closed so that the gay people would go. He was like, don't close the bars. That is the wrong move. He instead came up with the concept of, we're going to do a rally before, and we're gonna have busing from the bar to the march. Because if I was a young gay boy in a city and not sure of how to be open about that, the idea of going to the gay bar and people being like, we're getting on the buses, we're gonna go to this rally, I would not have gone to that rally on my own. But if I was in a room full of people that were all saying, we're going to this rally, yes, I'm with community.
Continuing with that, Chicago gay bars are under attack. We've had DS Tequila shut down, which hosted some pretty cool events.
I appreciated the wings. Don't get me wrong.
The food was good.
I went for the wings.
The food was not good.
There was nobody ever in there.
We've had DS Tequila shut down. We've had Berlin shut down. Berlin closed. I think Berlin was a pretty cool, fun, but a lot of drag events. And I think you're probably.
I didn't like it. I never liked it.
You didn't like Berlin?
No.
Yeah. Well, I only went I didn't go at all in the last year.
Everybody that knew me knew something was happening. Oh, he's not gonna don't invite me. I'm not going.
I got pepper sprayed on my way into Berlin one time.
That's so Berlin.
The fucking bouncer.
It was aggressive. It was this.
Berlin was the
Whatever's happening with that roach infested Italian restaurant, but these bars and these gay spaces are places where important things happen. The amount of drama and gay events and stuff that occur within these, even what is a restaurant where we had the whole thing? We're not going to go into the details of it, but
Ping Pong.
Ping Pong, where they stormed the Capitol.
They stormed the Capitol, and they're still doing well. So it turns out if you stormed the Capitol, you're still functioning fine.
Again, we're not sure. Justice and I both met Edward for the first time and didn't like him.
I liked you, Edward.
I own the fact that I actively try to be dislikable, but then people end up liking me, and it's really annoying because everybody thinks they're my friend, and I don't like most people.
Do you like me?
I find you entertaining.
I'll take that. I'll take that.
You're worthwhile. I don't know if I like you, but I also don't know if I like most of my friends.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, I don't care whether or not you like me.
Exactly. No, the thing is, it's not whether or not I like you. It's I find value in the conversation, and I think you're entertaining. Could that lead to me being confident in saying I like you? Because I would say I'm do I like him or do I not? But it is entertaining. And I think that there's a huge difference between likability and entertaining, because half the Real Housewives, you hate them, but
they're entertaining.
They're entertaining. It has nothing to do with likability. It has everything to do with entertainment value.
Yeah. So
And I believe myself to also be similar, where I am kind of as likable, and then I end up being nice, which is don't want to do that. Don't want to be a likable person. I want to be I like the way that y'all have viewed me as debatable. Because the thing is, when I was in grad school, there was this whole thing where it was like, to be good, to like do well, you need to love everything for 5 seconds. And I don't agree with liking everything for 5 seconds. I agree with the exact opposite. I think anything that anybody approaches you with, you should hate for 5 seconds. And then find the reason to like it. Because if you just like something without any cause or reason, it's pointless. Like, you're just jumping onto something that doesn't matter.
I can't wait to edit that with like, it's just like continuously pans like closer and closer and closer and closer.
I'm so glad you said that, 'cause I was like,
Because I feel like you two are like running around over there.
like 2 minutes straight.
It's just gonna be like the side by side. It's gonna be like us on like one side, and it's gonna be you on the other side, and it's just gonna be pan zooming. I love it.
Yeah, but Edward is pretty great. Whenever I see him at Splash or Sidetrack or just show up at his house, I'm a fan of Edward. I'm glad we met. We met in an interesting way.
I would say I'm a fan of you. That doesn't mean you're likable.
Yeah, no, I mean...
My favorite celebrities are not likable people.
But I'm a fan.
Justice, are you likable?
This is the yawning.
Justice, all you do is spread positive energy and vibes and have a positive impact on the people that you interact with.
I really try that. Honestly, like if I died tomorrow, like that's all that I want people to say. Like they appreciated me and like they felt that. So that makes me really happy to hear that.
Like, I don't know, like off the top of my head, I mean, I can go deeper into this, but I can't think of a single negative thing that anyone has ever said to me about you. And even if they would have said it about something negative to me about you, I would have like got off and fought them
I
about
know
it.
you would. I would do the same thing.
I'd be like, what do you mean by that?
I really
Expand.
Exactly, expand. What were the reasons?
Because like a lot of people, yeah, I don't know, it's funny. But I'm really glad I met you. You had a positive impact on me.
Same. No, I love hanging out with you. You're so fun.
That day where I like saw you at Roscoe's after I like went to Scarlet, so continuing on from that thing 20 minutes ago. But like when I saw you and you were like, "Oh, hi, how are you?" You acted, I mean, you knew who I was, but you didn't like, you're like, "Oh, hi, how are you?" And I was like, "This is my first time at a gay bar." And you're like, "Oh my gosh." And you like just welcomed me in and like introduced me to all your friends, and I was just like overwhelmed, and like you probably don't remember the specifics of it, but it was a very intense night for me.
It's just another
Just
twink
another
on a
twink
Saturday
out.
night.
Yeah, Justice does this on the regular.
Oh my god.
But I mean, like, that's the whole thing about gay bars is, like, you walk in and you're, like, instant interaction with, like, 48 people.
Yeah.
And, like, if you go semi-regularly,
It's
like,
double.
you're a socialite at that point. Like, you're, like, walking around. You're like, sorry, I have to say hi to 48 people. Like, it's a second job.
It's really fun. It's cute. It's like I go into a bar and I know like 20 something of the people who are there. So it's like going in, and then there are also random people, and you have to meet new people, and like it's this whole.
Oh, the best part is like the guys who are attractive, but you're like, I'm not gonna hook up with you, but they're attractive, and just like you get to tease them like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Oh my God.
And you just
Multiple
get
days in a row.
to do like this soft flirtation where they're like, oh, like, is tonight the night? And you're like,
No.
The night is never happening.
No.
The night is never going to happen.
No.
But it is so cute that you keep trying, and
Here's my second.
sometimes
number.
you get a free drink out of it.
Here's my second number.
Yeah, I have 2 phone numbers, so if I've given you,
You
one,
got
be careful.
2 phones, one for the bricks and one for the hose.
Yeah, so continuing on with that, gay bars are under attack. Berlin closed. I think Berlin was a pretty like cool, fun, but a lot of drag events, and I think you're probably
I didn't like it. I never liked
you
it.
didn't like Berlin.
No.
Yeah, well, I only went like I didn't go at all like in the last year.
Everybody that knew me like knew like something was happening. Like, oh, he's not gonna like don't invite me. I'm not going.
I got
never-
pepper sprayed on my way into Berlin one time.
That's so Berlin.
The fucking bouncer.
It was aggressive. It was this.
Berlin was the
You know,
queer
the-
bar, though.
Yeah, I feel like.
Yeah.
Well, I was there. I feel like. Did
You told me about that.
When the wall came down.
no.
No, Nick ended up going there with like a group of people.
It was after like a queen. Somebody who worked there just like opened up like the bar. No like alcohol or any
like
like
a
service like that, but it was like right after Queen and afters in Berlin where they were just like playing music. Like I have a video. And it was just like interesting, like, because that was, I feel like, when everything was like going on, and I still think throughout the whole time, like, it was open. Like, I think the bar was open, but people were just like encouraging people not to go there because of the like everything that was happening.
Yeah, well, because there was such large protests around it because they were asking to kind of unionize.
I just don't understand. I get it. But
I get it, but
I get it, but I don't
the asks
get it.
were insane.
What were they asking for?
It was legitimately if you work, like, you should get a pension if you work, like, 18 hours a week.
Well, I mean, they can give them a pension. It just won't be like very valuable. Pensions are supposed to be like reflective of the value that you're creating. So even on like that scale of that level of employee, like for a like Deloitte, Big Four has pensions that they give their employees, and my company doesn't have pensions, but like the Deloitte pension is so small that even though you're getting a pension, it's like
That's not actually what like
That's not the
the,
same
money
thing?
is. Yeah.
Okay, my bad.
No, but no. I'm agreeing that like that's not where the money is. Like that pension is so small, but like the idea of
Not even worth it for them.
but like it was like that the person who worked in coat check would be getting a pension
It's just
for it,
it's
which
not
like
like
I'm
it's
saying
like
all
a-
work is work, and
a
I respect
chain
all of
bar
it.
or something like that. Like
Yeah, they didn't have the
remember
money.
how-
I could understand
But-
if it was like a giant like mega bar like company that just like had a bunch of like locations and then like that like
Yeah,
Just the whole
like if it was
small
Applebee's, it would be a different
but
story.
it was
That
just
like another
one
2-minute
bar
long thing.
and I just don't understand like I think sometimes it comes down to like it isn't the job
So hard.
the one job that you can do to like support your whole entire life. Like not every single job standalone can support you. Like that's why people have to get multiple jobs to reach like a certain income level that they want
Yeah.
because their bar job isn't doing that for them. And I don't think
What-
that it necessarily has to. Like I don't think it falls under the like category of that.
And that was something that I was thinking about in that whole situation where I was like, okay, Berlin, due to its like queerness, did have
That's the unfortunate.
did have the staffing that was so pushing forward in a lot of different areas. And so that's why they were so ready to go for this kind of like extreme left concept on it. But in reality, I think what would have worked better is if you would have done like Boystown Bartenders Association and gone with a union that was larger, because then you could have incorporated the drag queens as well, because the drag
Well, I
queens
think
that
that
do
that's what they
a
were
show
trying
here,
to
a show there, they need
incorporate
to
the
they
drag
need
side.
to be you could do like a Boystown
Bar
association union, and it would be like, yep, like that's how the healthcare and all of those things, because like I don't know really any details, but like based off of the like bartenders at Sidetrack, great example, these are people who span a range of ages, but like there are people who have been bartenders there for like 30 years.
Yeah.
Like
I get
they
that.
have like this is their career,
Yeah.
and
They
like
should be
they
getting
are
healthcare.
clearly reasonably taken care of. And so like I want to know more about what they're doing and how to expand that concept onto the other spaces, because like Splash in comparison, everybody is 20 something. There's like maybe there's one or two that touch 30.
Yeah.
But like that is a 20 something side job, in between job situation space. Like in not in any negative sense. It's just like you can tell that that's what those individuals do. Like I know multiple of those individuals.
Yeah.
Where Sidetrack, I'm like, no, this is your career. You are a career bartender in this space, and like they seem,
amazing.
yeah.
That
They
was-
well,
like, it's amazing.
because that's something that America
And they deserve
doesn't
it.
do.
They deserve
That's
it.
something that America doesn't do that other countries do. We don't put respect on service in the same way.
Yeah, no,
where,
I
like,
100% agree.
Where like in France, the idea of being a waiter at a good restaurant is
Is-
like that's your job, that's what you
like,
do, and like
exactly.
you are good at it, and we respect you for being good at this position.
Yeah.
In America, the service industry is considered transient.
Yeah, which is so like just.
But I think
like that is like we all love to like all of that. We appreciate everyone that's in that industry, and they
we wouldn't
like,
have like the
we
fun
wouldn't
things to
be
do.
this far in life without that.
Yeah, and I mean, like those people take on roles of like therapist, caregiver, like realistically, lover. Only a couple times.
Whatever you need.
Like they do such a wide range, but I know that going home to their family and to their aunts and uncles, oh, he's a bartender, is like a lessening position than being then like he works in HR. He could make I think that working at Sidetrack
Is
as a
way
bartender,
more-
you are making more money than a
You're socially
standard.
advancing. Your like
Yes.
income has like a
And-
higher cap. You can make like a side gig and figure out other things on top of that. Like
Yeah. It's like a very like, but I do think it's a
Potential.
belittled and like looked down on industry as a whole.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like, I mean, like I try to be good at it, but I don't think I'm
but
great at
I
it.
feel like a lot of that is due to the.
I mean, there's a documentary about the owner of Sidetrack and his husband, and like his involvement in like, so like basically the city of Chicago when like AIDS was happening was not gonna do shit. Like Chicago did not care. Chicago was not going to do anything. So Art, the owner of Sidetrack, contacted people in San Francisco, Miami, and New York and said, "Can I get the rights to reprint the pamphlets that you're handing out?" So that he could have his bartenders handing out pamphlets about AIDS information at a time when the city of Chicago would do nothing about it. Because he saw where it was happening and he knew that they were next. And he was a big part of prevention in HIV and AIDS in Chicago. And he worked diligently with other people in the community. And when some of the other people who were gonna do like an AIDS march wanted the bars to be closed so that the gay people would go, he was like, don't close the bars. That is the wrong move. He instead came up with the concept of, we're going to do a rally before, and we're going to have busing from the bar to the march. And so I think what that realistically would have done, because if I was a young gay boy in a city and not sure of how to be open about that, the idea of going to the gay bar and people being like, we're getting on the buses, we're going to go to this rally, I would not have gone to that rally on my own. But if I was in a room full of people that were all saying, we're going to this rally, yes, I'm with community. And so he recognized the fact that the community of the queer space was in the bar.
It has often been said, there has been no important development in the gay community that didn't begin in a bar. For a very long period of time, gay bars were the only places gay people could meet. Gay bars were a refuge from a world where gay people were not welcome. And so bars were very important in our history.
And he used it to make change and make sure that others were cared for.
I had a cop said to me, are you the who owns this bar? And he said, we got too many as it is in this part of town. I'm shutting you down. They threw me in jail.
A signless bar evolved. Show tunes, slushies, Long Islands to legislative agendas that have now largely been won.
Aw.
Yeah,
That's a really good retelling of that story.
yeah, and I got to see him on
What's his name?
Thursday. Art.
Art? Does he have a last name?
I don't know Art's last name.
Art from Sidetrack. I'm going to tag him in here if I can find him. Art, we want to meet you again.
Art
I
from
wanna meet you.
Sidetrack did a really good speech on Thursday.
I guess so, yeah.
He's a really
How have I
good
never
speech.
seen this person before?
He's just like, I mean, he now walks with a cane. Like, he's like, the man's
Aw.
been through it. But I mean, one of the bartenders, actually, I think the manager of Sidetrack now, is in the documentary, and he basically talks about how he was like, oh, like, okay, like, I've been a bartender, but like, I'm gonna like go and be a teacher. And Art was like, okay, is that like really what you want? And he was like, well, like, because like I want to like have this career, and I want to like have impact on other people's lives. And Art like sat him down and was like, I'm not saying that you need to stay. I'm not saying that you should be a teacher. I was a teacher. It's great. But
Art teacher.
and, but he was like, but what is it that you want to get out of being a teacher? And he was like, well, I want to have an important impact on helping others to develop. I want to educate others, and I want to bring other people into community. And Art was like, is that not what you're doing here? He was like, your entire job is
Everything you just
teaching people. He was like, you are allowing people to learn about themselves in a space that is accepting of them.
Oh my god! Wait, we're not gonna be getting drunk anymore. We're learning about ourselves.
Right, exactly. I'm just like getting more into my queerness, one vodka soda at a time.
Right? Like I got way too into myself last night.
I was doing so much therapy. I was doing so much therapy last night.
It's therapy. Yeah, it's therapy. That's what going out is. Yeah.
So
So
I mean, to a certain extent, it
gay
is.
people. Well, I mean, it's therapeutic. I mean, the alcohol sometimes is a bit overwhelming and stuff, but like, yeah, you get to see people. A lot of people really care about each other and like each other, and like we are friends in a community. At the end of the day, sometimes it's kind of hard to get into it, but once you realize that like everyone is a little uncomfortable and awkward, just like you, and that you just
You gotta find your people.
yeah, find your people who want to interact with you, and like don't
Like,
interact with people who don't want to interact with you. Justice and I have been friends for years. I
Yeah.
guarantee you, we have a lot of mutual friends that don't like each other.
Yes.
That don't like.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Well, I don't know if you have friends that don't like me.
none. Actually, all my friends like
I would
you.
say everybody likes
So
me.
it's
I'm
more.
really likable.
I'm just not super likable all the time. Edward was telling
Back
me
to that
this.
conversation.
As he's.
You know you're deeply dislikable, as I do about myself.
That's like the caption of the video.
Like, because likability is not your goal.
No.
And like, I know that about you, and I think other people enter social spaces thinking that them being liked is the most important thing, and it's not. But having a point of view and having an interest in others, because that's the thing that I like about you the most, is that you ask probing questions, but other people think that it's really mean. But the probing questions that you ask to people are actually you trying to understand another person better.
Yeah.
And you're trying to get a better understanding of the world around you through probing into the individual set in front of you.
And they're like, I can't believe he said that.
I can't believe he would ask me that. And you're like, but it's not actually about, I was like, it's not about you. I was like, the question was not actually, like, the question is for you, but the question's not about you. And that's a big difference. Because, like, I mean, like, you came over again, and your conversation with Chris went much better than the last time that you had a conversation with Chris, but he also had a better understanding of where you were coming from because I was able to explain that to him. Mm-hmm. Where I was like, no, he's going to ask digging questions because he's digging for knowledge. He's not digging to... Generally, you don't actually care about the human cost of things. Like, you don't. Like, that's not your priority. Your priority is knowledge. And, like, so...
Sometimes it's to a fault.
It is, yes. It is definitely to a fault in certain situations. But you are going to probe and bite and not... you will not notice the way in which people are being affected by your questions because that's not your concern. Your concern is the information. And it's just that you want to know more. I mean, like, I think that's facts. I don't think that's on a read.
Justice, any commentary before
Nope.
we close this off?
Nope.
Does that feel fair?
I mean, that is fair. I would say
think
that's accurate.
He said enough for all of us.
Yeah, well, that was No Closet Left Behind. Nick is getting ready. We have to go run to go do a gay bar crawl where I'm going to go wear an elf hat and a bunch of gay men are going to have to go run and find me. So we wish you luck. Thanks for following along with us. Like and subscribe and leave a comment. Let us know if Edward said anything too spicy.
Always.
And we appreciate you. And we'll see you next time on No Closet Left Behind. I don't know what that was. That was No Closet Left Behind. Nick is getting ready. We have to go run to go do a gay bar crawl where I'm going to go wear an elf hat and a bunch of gay men are going to have to go run and find me. So we wish you luck. Thanks for following along with us. Like and subscribe and leave a comment. Let us know if Edward said anything too spicy.
Always.
And we appreciate you. And we'll see you next time on No Closet Left Behind. I don't know what that was. Hopefully that.
That was... you.
No Closet Left Behind.